2024 has been a great year for LEGO creations. So let's count down the best custom LEGO creations from across the LEGO community, specifically focusing on character and creature builds. This, by the way, is kind of like a part 2. Part 1 was focusing on the best Bionicle MOCs from this year. Get ready to see some system-focused MOCs now. Sounds fun. Let's go. Now, before we begin, I want to induct a specific MOC into the Hall of Fame. This creation for sure would have been in the #1 spot. In fact, I'd probably even put it higher than the #1 spot because it's probably my favorite MOC of all time. This is Donnie Chen's amazing Golden Dragon creation. Yeah, the curves on this are insane. The intricately layered scales, the striking presence, the aura of this MOC. I love it so much. Now, yeah, this would have been in the #1 spot, but I don't know, I just spoke about this in a different video I did. A video where I talk about the greatest LEGO creations of all time. And this ranked very highly. Yeah, plus I have a video breaking this down in a lot of detail, so I've spoken about this MOC quite a lot. I figured let's spotlight other stuff instead. Let's talk about different things. But Donnie, I love what you've done. This is the coolest MOC ever. I'm putting this in its own spot because it is that good. But here's the real list now, and I assure you, the real #1 creation on this list is just as good, maybe even a little better, than Donnie's dragon. But let's not rush to #1, let's begin with number 10. In this spot, we have the amazing Leo Rising, a true work of art that was constructed by Patrick Biggs. I'm in love with the fur on this MOC. The way that it's blowing in the breeze, the way that it pops up against the black fur. Two nice contrasting colors like that. It's so striking, it gives the MOC a lot of presence. And this fur, it's built with a lot of these white dinosaur tail pieces. These are the same ones that you got a pretty decent supply of in the Fortnite Peely Bones set. We can also see some of these pieces being combined with some of the fur elements that came on different Hero Factory sets like Brain Attack Stormer. So yeah, it's amazing to see fur so eloquently made with LEGO. The ability to capture such motion, such realism, it's insane. This feels so alive. I love this, and I know a lot of other people love this too. Especially because when I was at Brick Fair earlier this year and Patrick was taking this MOC apart to send it back to Denmark. As he was taking it apart, myself and like 5 other builders rushed over towards it to see how it was built. People are fascinated by this, man. And also, this won an award this year at Brick Fair. It's good. It's very good. Sliding over to the #9 spot now, we have an amazing recreation of the Pokemon Deoxys by Dylan Meaves. So there's actually 4 different forms of Deoxys, and of course, Dylan has made every single one of them. I'll show you each one alongside the original source material. Yet what's so impressive about these creations is how accurately Dylan has represented each one. I often find when people make Pokemon creations out of LEGO, they can struggle to really nail the organic and rounded design language of each Pokemon. I mean, you can really see it on Deoxys, like especially on their legs. So much of it is like rounded and oval shapes. And that's a thing that's quite tough to pull off with LEGO, given how blocky it is. But Dylan did it, and he did it really well. Dylan just has this great understanding of shape and form, and he knows how to replicate it with the exact right LEGO bricks. That's something that takes years of practice. The insane accuracy and the really impressive designs here, they are mind-blowing. Love your work. This next creation is actually on display right now in LEGO House in Billund, Denmark. I mean, when a creation is hand-picked by the LEGO group themselves, you know it's gotta be good. Number 8, it belongs to the amazing and the incredible Woomy World and his Final Fantasy-inspired creation. There's some really fantastic shaping going on here. This MOC is just so cute and so dynamic. Here we've got a photo of it next to the original source material, and it is insane how accurate this is. Even down to the facial expressions. Wow. Just looking at the original, this is the kind of thing that I would look at and say, nah, that's impossible to build with LEGO. Too hard to do. It's not gonna look good. Well, I'm wrong. Woomy did it very well and managed to pour in heaps of amazing part usage. First off, the feet. See how they're using a brown version of Liwa's Miru mask? What a clever way of pulling off the curvature of a boot. The eye design here, it uses pieces that actually came on an old Adventure Time Lego set. They are sand blue hot dogs. And actually, this is the only set to come with sand blue hot dogs. What a genius idea to use them for closed eyes. Now, this next bit isn't really like a clever part use, they're using a crown as a crown. But hey, taking King Matthias's crown from this Knights Kingdom Construction Lego set, it really was the perfect finishing touch. Oh, I love this so much. Number 7 is a much larger mock that even comes with a big diorama. This is Spirited Away by Jafer. So if you've seen the movie, you're going to be familiar with this one. The insane accuracy that Jafer has pulled off here to recreate this iconic scene, it's sensational. And just look at the colors and the vibrant atmosphere. This is just such a sight to behold. And I really love the sense of motion and movement that this scene has. Seeing all the food items and furniture flying away, it's almost like time has frozen and we've just got a snapshot of the chaos that's unfolding. This whole mock is just awesome. And it's so rare to see a really well-built creature build or character build inside a really well-built diorama of this scale. You see people do it, but it's not always done that well. But Jafer shows us how it's done. This is a rare and precious thing. You don't see it every day. Anyway, I've got a whole separate video really breaking this down and showcasing the clever techniques, so go and give that one a watch. I'll have a link to that video in the description below, as well as to all the other stuff that I've spoken about in this video. It's worth a look. Check it out. Sliding over to number 6, we have an awesome Pokemon-themed mock. This was built by Redverse, and this is a depiction of the mighty Gyarados. Look at the wonderful curves on this mock. The way that the tail just flexes and bends, it is magical. And see, that's also a very hard thing to do with Lego bricks. The blocky nature of them makes it almost impossible to make something so curved and rounded. When people do make designs like this, you often see a lot of gaps and crevices within the design. But Red manages to do this pretty much entirely gap-free. And it's also super sturdy at the same time. Now, yeah, maybe there are a few gaps present, but I wouldn't really call them gaps. It's more like ridges, and this is the kind of ridges that you actually see within the segments of the original Pokemon. And look, just comparing the two right here, it's so accurate. This is probably the best recreation of any Pokemon I've ever seen in Lego. Now, you may look at this and think, oh yeah, this is a digital mock. This wouldn't exist in the real world. It wouldn't be possible. You couldn't build this. Well, that's where you're wrong. Here's an image showcasing this thing in real life alongside some of Red's other mocks. Oh, it's beautiful. Some amazing engineering and design work on this. And it's so accurate. Sick. Number 5 now, and this is just delightful. We have a mech for Dr. Robotnik. This is built by Zane Houston. It's so rare to see Sonic the Hedgehog creations. What a delight. And you know, Zane Houston, they have such a distinct style. All of his mechs, they have this very sharp, angular look to them. A lot of them have very dynamic angles or dramatic edges. And just the feeling of them, they're so grand in appearance. That style of building, I think it lends itself very well to something that Dr. Robotnik would be piloting. Because the character himself is very grand and big and all over the place. See, Zane is smart. He knows what he's good at. He knows his strengths when he's building, so he picked the perfect subject matter to build something in. His art style works perfectly for something fresh out of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I mean, things like these drill arms, or even the large mustache on the face of the mech, or these glasses that have the little kind of like white lines in them showcasing like reflections. All of this is so fun and so goofy, and so over the top. And Zane has brought it to life so well. And in a way that I think only he could do. Any of the other builders that we talked about in this video so far, I don't think they could pull this off like he did. This is so uniquely him, it's just beautiful. So much charm, so much character. This is awesome. The number 4 spot is dope. Because now we are graced with the presence of AroOkon, a true master builder. And this is his mock of Theoden and Snowmane. So look man, all of this is super impressive. The awesome beard design on Theoden, his fantastic armor, and even just the anatomy of this horse. And the horse's armor as well, there's great detail on that. This all feels so realistic and impressive. I love everything about this. And you might be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But it gets better. This has power functions. Suddenly this extremely well-built MOC just got 1,000 times cooler. Look at this movement. It's so fluid, it's so realistic. This moves pretty much exactly how you would expect a real horse to move. And being able to perfectly match that specific style of horse galloping, I don't really know how you can do that with Lego bricks. How do you rig up power functions to perfectly mimic animal movement? That's next level stuff. Some of your best work right here, Aero. Love what you've done. Ooh, down to the final 3. In the number 3 spot. This is something a lot of you are going to enjoy because I know you love this guy. He makes great YouTube videos. It's Mitch builds, and they're incredible Tears of the Kingdom creation. If you've played the game, I'm sure you know this guy. This MOC has presence. The chunky body, the sheer size of the wings, all of the spikes around the neck and the heads. It's beautiful. I love a good MOC that just demands your attention like this does. The repetition of the slopes on the neck, or the other rounded tiles on the belly. That's such a great way to represent dragon scales. And I haven't even shown you what this is based off of. Here's what it looks like in the game. I mean, look at that. Mitch replicated this so well. Now, look, I have actually spoken about this fairly recently in other top 10 videos, and Mitch himself has done a whole video talking about this, which you should go and watch if you haven't. So I'll leave it at that. Go and check out his video if you want to learn some more. Now for the second best LEGO MOC of 2024. Well, this goes to an absolute beast. We have LEGO Tiger by Dara0503. I mean, yo. Every now and then a LEGO MOC comes around that leaves me speechless. Thankfully I've prepared a script, so I know what to say, because what do you say about this? It's so cool. This is just so freaking lifelike. I mean, look at this head design. And look at the way that it's posed in some of these images. Dara, he clearly had to have studied actual real tigers when making this, because this is like a one-to-one replication of their anatomy. This is exactly how they move. And he's built that in Lego. What? How do you do this? I mean, look at the gradient of colors. Hints of dark orange mixed in with nougat, then leading that into white as well. I love it. Everything about this looks like a work of art. This belongs in a museum. I want this thing on display in my house right now. Now, much like that MOC that we saw earlier from Aero, you might think, yeah, this looks cool, but there's more. Here's a video from their Instagram that showcases how much this thing can move and pose. And seeing this, I am blown away once again. How do you pull something like this off? The fluid movement, the seamless posability, and the fact that you can pose this without there being any odd gaps or ugly crevices. Because you gotta do that sometimes, you need to have room for the limbs to move, you can't have too much armor over the top of the articulation points. And sometimes that can look a little unsightly. But not on this MOC. It looks this good and it can pose this much. That is a difficult thing to do. And look at how sturdy it is too. The way that Dara is handling this, you can see that it's not just gonna fall apart when you touch it. This thing is robust. This is tough. Oh, I love this so much. Yo, and this is in the number 2 spot? We still have a MOC that's better than this? Well, yeah, with that, what is the best MOC of 2024? Whatever it is, it has to be better than that tiger, and it has to be better than Donnie's dragon. Or at least on the same level as Donnie's dragon. I still think Donnie's dragon's the best thing ever. Well, only a master builder like Moko could deliver something better than this. This is Lego Dino Megazord. Here we got a little side by side with the real toy and the Lego MOC. They almost look like the same thing. The accuracy, baby! Wow! And then when we zoom in, look at how much insane detail there is. Look at that face design. Look at the angled lines that are worked into the shoulders. Look at the use of some of those triangular flag pieces on the torso. Dang. Every inch of this is layered with insane levels of detail. All kinds of super complex angles. And once again, this thing can pose as well. How does Moko keep getting away with this? How does he do this? You'd think with all the crazy techniques and the complex angles that this thing has, It would have to have some sort of inner frame or structure that's like super dense and highly detailed. And as a result, there wouldn't be room for posability. Apparently not though. Moko is a wizard. I don't know how he does this. But wait, there's more. This thing then splits apart into different beasts. And you better believe that each and every one of these is still really well made. Each one is packed with lovely designs and different play features, like opposable jaw, for example. Or, others have movable limbs. There's all sorts of stuff going on here. This is wild. I mean, here they are all together in one image. And yeah, the fact that the Megazord can actually split apart, or, combine together. Insanity. But we aren't done yet. There's more that this thing can do. Because they can also combine and turn into this. Any kind of transformation or combination like this, it requires so much thought and engineering and skill to pull off. Dude, I don't even think I could pull off something like this. I imagine some of the builders that are on this list couldn't even pull off something like this. It's hard to do. But Moko makes it look effortless. He made this thing transform twice. Moko is like some kind of Lego god. If you think this creation is good, he's got tons of other ones too that are just as detailed and complex as this is. Oh, this is so cool. And there you have it. That's the best LEGO creations of 2024. Please go and check the links below and see more from these other builders. If you thought this stuff that they made was good, they got plenty more where that came from. Anyway, that's all for now, guys. Thank you for watching. It's been a great year for MOCs. Happy building, and bye for now.